Hey, what's up, Manny? What are we working on here today?
Hey, what's up, guys? Right here, we're working on the Volvo. Looks like we got 3 calls for Volvos today.
So you actually go out to jobs if you're in the area or someone needs you?
Usually people need us. There's some jobs where we cannot help you out remotely. We actually have to physically show up with our own computers to be able to complete the job. This specific customer, Volvo's a little bit harder to use. A lot of people don't know how to use it. This specific customer, they're just busy. They said, hey, we're really busy with work right now, but we have a Volvo. We're wondering if you can come out and come check it out for us. So that's what we did.
Cool.
It says DTC, status active, view DTCs. It doesn't say chassis ID divergence. When we go on this 2010 that we got a call for, you're gonna see that it says chassis ID divergence. That means that it has different VIN numbers and it won't let you program it. On this one, we just gotta get to the codes. We're gonna diagnose already. Voltage is good. Let's see what's going on. I could already see it's some type of after treatment issue because if you look on the lights,
it's basically the region on. That's just because the ignition is on. So it keeps showing up until I delete.
And you were saying it's just losing power when you...
When I go uphill, even when I go uphill,
Yeah.
I lose the power quickly. If the hill depends on the hill, right? If the hill is, hold on a second, hold on. If the hill is 6%, you lose the power completely. I draw 10 miles per hour, 11.
Yeah,
I just struggle.
working on Volvos, you're gonna go to the codes, you're gonna click on diagnose. It's gonna tell you engine emissions control. You have to be able to select the emission that you're working on. This is a 2022, so we actually have to select USA 2021. There it is. This is USA 2021 emissions. If you don't select the correct stuff, you're not going to be able to read the correct information. That's what sucks about using Tech Tool. There's a lot of things you got to click on to know. And if you click something wrong, you can run into some problems where the communication's not correct anymore. So we got all kinds of codes. We got 2 after treatment codes. Both of them have to do with DEF. So pretty much it's telling us that the DEF is low. So I don't know if it's actually low, maybe something to do with the DEF level sensor. We don't know.
Torque edge.
Just doing a mechanic background, I didn't really understand why things were not working. Once you have the understanding of the knowledge of communication of computers, and I'm not talking about your laptop, once you can understand how those things are communicating with one another, and you start showing up as a mechanic and you start reading codes, you start to understand why it's communicating the way it is. You're able to understand these trucks in a whole different way where you're able to pretty much problem solve on your own. You start going from communication to communication and you find the gap between where it's not communicating, and you can understand the problem has to be between this area, but you're able to narrow things down and start looking in the area and then diagnose the code based off only that. When you're working with torque edge, it's not just like the experience that you're able to pull from it, is that you have people that are specialized in different things. Being able to be in this industry for so many years, we've been able to network with different people that are specialists in different things. So we know specialists in every type of field and every manufacturer. And so when they need help from us on computer stuff, we help them out. And that's like I tell everybody, not everybody's gonna know everything. And that's why we gotta help one another, because out here, the working class, which is the actual mechanics, the actual drivers, we're the ones out here working. And we're not trying to help each other and share our knowledge to help each other on our problems, then who's gonna help us? The customers ain't gonna help you. They're just gonna bitch at you, complain to hurry the hell up, right? The government ain't definitely trying to help us. They're just gonna try to figure out how to take more money away from you. But if we're out here acting the same, oh, I'm not gonna teach nobody, which is why we decided to do education. To be able to teach people, because we realized the real lack here in the industry of the trucks not being able to get fixed is the lack of knowledge. If the mechanics had more knowledge of how to fix the units, which means using the actual computer systems, OEM applications themselves, which there's no school for that. If you actually had more mechanics had that knowledge with those right tools attached to it, more trucks would be getting fixed and wouldn't be having these problems. But what's cool is that we've built a network of specialists where maybe it's a PACCAR problem that nobody knows, well, we can contact a PACCAR specialist. Maybe it's a Volvo problem that nobody knows, we can contact a Volvo specialist. And whatever it is, we're gonna try to figure out a solution. Worst case scenario, all we're gonna say is, hey, you know what, that problem, we've never ran into it, we don't have it in our database, we don't know nothing about it, and that's when we have to come out, which is usually like newer units. Newer stuff comes out every year, and with new stuff coming out, there's new problems. So we're kind of getting called out all the time for new problems, which is also why a good reason to work with us is that you're updated. Most people are not going to care to get updated. We care though, because when people are calling us, they're calling us for the new stuff that's coming out for 2024, 2026, whatever year you're in, whatever new stuff is out. People don't really know much about the new systems. Like new code came out, a new part came out. How do you diagnose that? People don't really know, and there's not really a lot of database to go based off how those trucks have been fixed. So most of the time when stuff is new that gets out of warranty a year later, people are calling us to go check it out. So we care to stay updated. And when you work with us, you have the latest updated software, and that's important. So like I said, this is the first code that we're diagnosing. It's a P114500 reductant level moderately low. I have a 25% engine derate, but this guy's saying that going uphill, he's losing power that he can go past 10 miles per hour. So we're gonna go see what other codes are on. We don't want to go based just off the active codes, and that's why I say like go based off the problem they're telling you. So the problem is he's losing power going uphill. To me, that tells me it's some type of boost pressure. We need the turbo to have enough boost pressure to be able to push out enough power for the truck to rise once it's going in uphill. And I'm thinking it's losing some type of air. We're gonna see what codes we have for that, because now we're gonna go after inactive codes. We got communication backbone. That's a communication code. We have this other code, active. Same thing for the deaf. Usually people are gonna call us for hard problems. A hard problem is something you can't really detect. A lot of those problems have to do with fuel system problems and air system problems. Trucks are losing power. You got no code. They don't know why it's doing it. You gotta have to figure out, is it an air problem or is it a fuel problem? Because both of those problems, they're not gonna give you any codes. That's where the numbers matter. You gotta be able to chart. You gotta have to do data monitor. Try to understand why the truck's losing power. Try to figure out quickly, which area you're really focusing on the air side or on the fuel side. So I'll kind of know, if we see some stuff that don't add up right. And in this problem, I think it's an air problem. So I would check for exhaust for leaks. That's what we're gonna do. I think it's an air problem. We checked for leaks, we didn't find anything. Sometimes you're gonna have to get the air-to-air to get tested and see where it's leaking from. Sometimes you can't see it while the part's on the truck. You're gonna have to remove it. So I'm thinking the problem's gonna be on the air-to-air. Everything else looks good, besides these after treatment codes. If you notice, when you accelerate, it should go up to 10 to 15 easy. But it goes to 4 and then it stops dropping on its own. And that is not normal. Look at the PSI on the boost. It shouldn't drop, it should get higher. Then you let it go. It'll come back for a second. That's nothing. It's not even. Yeah, it's not even working. It's not even working. Yeah, exactly. 0.58. I think the turbo's fucked up. We gotta remove the clamps and check the turbo. I think the problem for sure is air.
When you try to check it out front of the radiator, could you find that?
I didn't. I could only look on the sides a little bit. I sprayed it with water and soap, and I didn't see it bubbling. So, but we gotta have to check the veins and the bottom of it too. So the best thing is to remove it, and we have to send it to the radiator shop where they can inspect it good, see if it's leaking.
It's going to take time.
Yeah, it's gonna take time. So he told me you're kind of in a hurry.
I need to be in Colorado tomorrow morning.
Well, Colorado's kind of far, and if you don't have boost, is a problem.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to.
You need power.
Yep.